Chapter 5, Nightmare. "Your little nap did you good, darling," said Gran when I went downstairs for tea. You smell very fresh and pretty." "You've got a bit of colour back in your cheeks, Poppet," said Grandad. They both looked pale and tired, but they were trying hard to smile and be cheerful. Gran served us sausage and mash, our favourite, but nobody cleared their plate. I kept peering at Mabel's dish in the corner of the kitchen. She always had her tea while we ate ours. Sometimes she came scavenging for my leftovers. She particularly liked mashed potato. I had to be careful, though. If I gave her too much, she was sick. I thought about the last time poor Mabel was sick and how mean I'd been. My mashed potato got stuck in my throat and I was very nearly sick myself. Grandad's hand reached out and patted mine. Gran took my plate away and gave me another drink. "Your dad's going to do his best to come home early tonight," said Gran. I wasn't too sure about this. Dad always had to work very, very late, but today he came home just as Gran was clearing the table. "I'll get you your tea, dear," she said. I'll have it later," said Dad. "I thought Verity and I would go out first. I've got heaps of posters about Mabel. We'll pin them up over the neighbourhood. I've even used a photo of her. Look, Verity." I looked. Dad had done a wonderful poster with a big blown-up picture of Mabel curled up asleep, under the heading, "Have you seen our cat, Mabel?" My heart started banging so hard I thought it was going to bounce right through my chest and make a mess of my school dress. Dad and I trudged down street after street after street. We pinned Mabel posters to trees and fences and lampposts everywhere we went. "Don't worry, Verity, we'll find Mabel now," said Dad, taking hold of my hand. "Someone's bound to see the poster and recognise Mabel and ring our number. She can't have vanished into thin air." My heart went bang, bang, bang. I knew I should tell Dad that Mabel wasn't missing. He had done 100 posters asking if anyone had seen her. There was only one person in the whole world who knew exactly where she was, entombed in my wardrobe. I wondered if Dad would understand. I didn't dare risk telling him. You couldn't talk about things like death to Dad. It made him think about Mum. I remembered Gran this morning. It would be even worse if Dad started crying. So I didn't say anything. I was very, very quiet all the way round the neighbourhood, and I was very, very quiet when we got home. We were all very quiet, very quiet. I was glad when Gran sent me up to bed. I lay there wide awake. I waited until I heard Gran and Grandad go up to bed. I waited even longer until I heard Dad go up to bed too. It was a good job I waited, because Dad crept into my room. I closed my eyes tight and lay very still. Dad stood beside my bed a long time. Then he sighed, gently tucked the covers up under my chin and went out the room. I still had to wait ages and ages just to be safe. But when there hadn't been any sound in the house for a long, long time, I crept out of bed and very slowly and cautiously opened my wardrobe door. There was a strange smell, half sweet, half sour, bath salts mixed up with the new, worrying smell of Mabel. I decided I mustn't let this put me off. Mabel couldn't help it after all. I reached into the back of the wardrobe and reverently pulled out the duffel bag. I tried hard, but I couldn't pull the Mabel mummy out. I couldn't really see what I was doing in the dark. I had to content myself with inserting one hand into the bag and stroking Mabel's bandages. It was very soothing, very, very soothing. I woke up in in the middle of the night to find myself huddled against the wardrobe, the duffel bag clasped to my chest. I wanted to take it back to bed with me, but I didn't dare risk it. I put Mabel back in the wardrobe, shut the door, and then crawled back into bed. I was freezing cold, so I wrapped the duvet tightly round me. I think it was the duvet that gave me the nightmare. I was dead, and someone was trying to hook my brains out, and I screamed, and then they were wrapping me up in bandages, tighter and tighter, and I screamed again. I screamed for someone to come and help me, because I was being turned into a mummy. Verity, Verity, darling, it's Dad, I'm here. Wake up, you're having a nightmare. I started sobbing, still thrashing my arms and legs around to free them from the mummy bandages. The duvet fell away, and the only thing holding me tightly was Dad. Oh, Dad, I sobbed. He held me close. What's up? Gran said sleepily out on the landing. Is Verity crying? She had a bad dream, said Dad. She was shouting. What was I shouting? I said, suddenly scared. Did I shout about Mabel? Dad didn't answer until Gran had shuffled back to bed. I couldn't quite make out what you were saying, Pet, but you seemed to be calling for Mummy. I didn't know what to say. My heart was banging again. Dad cleared his throat as if he was about to say more, but no words came out. There was a deep silence in the dark room.